Hi. School choice distinguishes New Orleans' public school system from the other cities around the country. The New Orleans school system is an open enrollment, all-choice model based on the premise that families will choose a school with a high-quality education that fits their needs. Also, low-performing schools will eventually phase out due to a decrease in demand, and the overall quality of the educational system in New Orleans will improve with these measures. Today, New Orleans school system has the highest percentage of students in a school of their choice, and the overall school performance is improving in the city of New Orleans. On November 16, 2017, the Orleans Parish School Board adopted the vision that every student receives a high-quality education that fosters his or her capabilities while ensuring that they thrive and prepare for civic, social, and economic success. Charter schools play a vital role in the district's vision. During the summer of 2018, the New Orleans Public School transferred governance from the Recovery School District to the Orleans Parish School Board, effectively transitioning power to local control. The creation of the Charter School Accountability Framework has been the result of the 2016 passage of Act 91 in the Louisiana State Legislature. It directed that the schools operated by the state's Recovery School District fully return to local control under the Orleans Parish School Board after more than a decade of the RSG oversight. The New Orleans School District did not happen overnight. There are many outside factors and actors that led to the post-Katrina school reform. The city's complicated political and social history were contributing factors in its educational history. Decades of disinvestment and neglect led many residents to embrace change, which ultimately led to the school system toward charter schools. A group of investors and free market advocates have been working with the city to create a plan for improvement. The crisis of Hurricane Katrina created an environment to enact the change. 14 days after hurricane caused so much destruction, the Heritage Foundation developed policies for responding to Hurricane Katrina and high gas prices, including the suspension of prevailing wage laws in disaster areas, the creation of a flat tax enterprise zone, and the implementation of a voucher system for use of the charter schools. These new approaches to public policy issues were the catalyst of choice in public education to be the norm in the city of New Orleans. The rise in charter schools have been due to a large part of the failing public school system unable to adequately educate their children in New Orleans. With this new model, charter schools can eliminate the governmental waste and bureaucratic red tape, which allows them to modernize and remain competitive with other nations due to their ability to be innovative and resourceful. For this reason, charter schools have a competitive advantage because they are free from regulation of traditional public schools. Charter schools can more easily hold their staff accountable due to the lack of unions in the charter school system. They're also able to select whomever they want, such as experts in their field, for any position they see fit. If done correctly, resources can be distributed efficiently and effectively while being able to find solutions to problems like educational inequalities. Governance. New Orleans has become a national model for cities looking to expand the market share of charter schools as more schools move to private governance. Due to the major schools in New Orleans Parish School District are chartered, students have only a couple options for their education, providing a large amount of power in the elected school board for the parish. The elected school boards in New Orleans operate primarily as a charter authorizer, leaving all vital day-to-day decisions to the schools themselves. Private charter boards have the autonomy to make the best decisions for their schools because their sole focus is on their school system. They are experts in their field, providing them with the most knowledge of their given industry. Charter school boards are more democratic than their traditional public school counterparts because they can be held more accountable by parents and students they serve. Charters elect school board members are available to divide their priorities to correspond to their expertise. Because of the charter school politics, charter school board members are more focused on student achievement than on fiduciary responsibilities. Furthermore, they may see themselves as change agents in the education field. Charter schools grew not only out of concern for low student achievement, but also with mismanagement of organization and finances. Ultimately, charter school boards are responsible for the overall health of the school. They set policies and procedures on how best to meet the needs of their schools and students. The first theoretical approach is neoliberalism. The educational market has embraced neoliberalism as a philosophy. This includes what some refer to as a marketization of education. Other neoliberal measures include the intensification of standard testing and tracking, investment in charter schools or school choice, and privatization of school operations. This movement is becoming known as the accountability movement. The New Orleans district has undergone extensive research due to its unique model rooted in the neoliberalism philosophy. Converting most of the city's traditional public schools into charter schools, the school system has instituted an educational market in which charter organizations compete for public funds attached to enrollment numbers and school service contracts, while remaining exempt from collective bargaining agreements and regulations mandated by the locally elected government. Charter schools have been enacted for many reasons, but most notably as a vehicle for market mechanisms into the districts. Neoliberalism is supported by the scholars who advocate for market systems in educational policy which promote more choice and competition. These are driving factors in the effort to break up monopolies aimed to improving all schools. A central tenet to neoliberalism is school choice, which is aimed at providing families opportunities to actively choose a school, but also introduce market pressures to low-performing schools, which in theory improves the entire school system. Education is now viewed as a commodity, emphasizing providing the best educational experience for public good. Lastly, there is a focus on removing regulations, which provides opportunities for innovation. The second theoretical approach is advocacy coalition framework. Even as the federal government has taken a more prescriptive stance in education, new advocacy groups are adopting an intermediary role in gathering, interpreting, and often funding or producing research evidence to shape policies at the federal level, as well as through the less centralized efforts in the national, state, and local arenas. These are many organizations in New Orleans have had contributing to the existence of charter schools. Many organizations and advocacy groups have been associated with charter schools throughout their life cycle. I will present the advocacy groups that were present before the inception of the charter schools and current groups that are associated with them today. The federal and state governments had a part in zoning southern states as an experimental site for charter school reform. The role of local government, particularly the Bring New Orleans Back Commission, helped with envisioning a market-based plan for reconstruction of the city and its schools. Tulane University's Cohen's Institute for Public Education Initiatives led the way in creating opportunities in research and coordination of the advocacy groups such as the New Schools for New Orleans and Teach NOLA. Education entrepreneurs were major influencers, with leading the takeover and privatization of the New Orleans public schools, and the role of the Recovery School District and School Facilities Master Plan established the blueprint for which schools would be rebuilt in New Orleans and where they would be strategically placed. National pundits and educational reformers such as Leslie Jacobs and Paul Hill make key assertions for the transition of the New Orleans School District. First, they argue that market-driven, competitive model is best. Second, they assert that doing away with local politics and bureaucracies will lead to innovative practices. Third, they claim that knowledgeable consumers are able to equitably navigate the newly renovated system of schools based on access to performance data. Finally, education entrepreneurs assert that educational marketization and school choice advance equity and opportunity for communities harmed by state monopolies on public education. Simultaneously, state leaders of Louisiana were creating an educational plan. Even before FEMA was on the ground for federal support and cleanup, Superintendent Pickard was discussing with the Louisiana Federation of Teachers a brand new school system which would provide a wonderful opportunity for all children. In November of 2005, Louisiana Governor Kathleen Bianco called a special session to discuss an educational focus, which included a state takeover of the educational system. This legislative session was an opportunity to pass Act 35, which redefined the failing school standards, and as a result, the schools would be placed under the state-controlled Recovery School District. Locally, reform similar to the state and federal initiatives were underway. In October 2005, Mayor Ray Nagin established the Bring New Orleans Back Commission. Similar to the Louisiana Recovery Authority, Bring New Orleans Back Commission sought out business leaders to provide oversight of the reconstruction of New Orleans, such as James Reese, a shipping and real estate mogul and chair of the New Orleans Business Council, and Joseph Canizaro, a real estate multimillionaire that is connected to the Urban Land Institute, which raised $1 million for the Urban Land Institute. The Bring New Orleans Back Commission immediately initiated subcommittees to investigate how to rebuild to include education. Tulane University's president, Scott Cohen, was appointed to lead the educational subcommittee. The education subcommittee's vision was presented in January of 2006. advocating a world-class public education in the form of an all-charter school district model. The Bring New Orleans Back Commission made two notable recommendations. First, the district create a fair, rules-based system for placing students in the school of choice. Second, the district would design comprehensive scorecard to assess school and network performance and make results publicly available. These recommendations were noteworthy because they are what ensure a democratic process and greater oversight. As the New Orleans education reform began to take shape, the committee saw a need for transformation. The Cohen Institute for Public Education Initiatives at Tulane University provided the hub for the New Orleans education reform due to its reputation in the community as the largest employer. They also had the political influence with the state and Washington, D.C. as a reputable face of school choice. New nonprofits were organizing, such as New Schools for New Orleans and New Leaders for New Orleans, in which the Cohen Institute was able to bring all organizations into the fold by positioning itself as an action-oriented think tank that informs and advances solutions through policies, programs, and partnerships to eliminate challenges impeding the success of K-12 education. An instrumental advocacy group in the New Schools for New Orleans, which was founded in 2006, is committed to charter schools and human capital development. Their strategy is fivefold: seek founders to start charter schools, principals to lead, teachers to teach, members to serve on charter school boards, and investors and philanthropists to contribute to these efforts. The New Schools for New Orleans has partnered with national organizations such as New Leaders for New Schools to recruit, train, and place principals and other school leaders in the public school of New Orleans. New School for New Orleans has taken the lead in training personnel within the charter schools. They have trained over 90% of the charter schools in New Orleans. In today's New Orleans school system, numerous grassroots organizations such as the New Orleans Education Equity Roundtable, the Louisiana Coalition for Public Education, the Coalition for Community Leadership in Education, the Coalition for Educational Policy Community Schools, and the School Justice Hotline continue to lead education efforts into the next generation of charter school reform. Debates in New Orleans focus on several aspects of policy and governance, such as the access to charter schools for students with disabilities, teacher quality, admission policies, racial segregation of the school system, views on local control, and performance of charter schools. On a national level, policymakers and coalition groups have made public claims in support of the charter school system in New Orleans. In conclusion, New Orleans has experienced a massive shift with school choice policies intended to increase autonomy and accountability. These changes in policies have resulted in changes in the school environment that is consistent with accountability of charter schools. Evaluating charter schools is difficult because so many interested parties study charter schools from a perspective of their own and evaluate different measures. This paper looked at the New Orleans Charter School Accountability Framework, which was developed to direct schools operated by the state's recovery school districts fully return to local control under the Orleans Parish School Board. From this simplistic measure, the Charter School Accountability Framework was a success, as 16 years post-Hurricane Katrina, the charter school system is a strong option for all residents of the city of New Orleans to obtain a high-quality education. In terms of how the New Orleans School District has taken an existing model of education and been able to provide it and strengthen the existing model, has made the school district a model for the United States.